Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janina and Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you all had a great start in 2021 and let's fingers crossed that this year is going to be a bit easier for all of us, that it's going to be less dangerous maybe for everyone. And yeah, I hope you're all safe wherever you are and that you're doing well. I know, again, it's been a really long time since I uploaded something, but as always, my creativity is sometimes very low and work gets in the way, but today's video is going to be about my favorite boys love manga that I have read in 2020. Like in my last video from 2019 where I talked about all the great boys love manga or my favorite boys love manga that I've read in 2019. Not all of these manga were published in 2020. A lot of them are from 2018, 2019, even maybe a little bit older as well. But yeah, without further ado, let me get started and tell you about the first recommendation I have here on my list. The first one is called Hello Green Planet by Sakumoto Ayu, and in this one we follow a student couple basically. One is actually a student who studies botanical studies, I think. I'm not really sure what the right term of that is, but he studies plants and how they grow and how he can take care of them and everything. And the other one, I forgot what he studied, but they actually meet in one of the greenhouses at the university. And yeah, the main guy who studies botanical studies, he's kind of really shy and really not very good with talking to people. And the other guy, he met him at one point and he was like, oh, I kind of want to get to know that person. And the guy who's like, oh, I kind of want to know that person, he kind of loses his apartment, so they start actually living together. So at one point he comes into the home of the botanical student, and it's full of plants, and it's so well drawn as well. When you the panels of all the various plants that the mangaka actually drew in the different rooms of the main guy, it's really, really pretty. And they spend obviously a lot of time together after they're done with university, sitting together, eating together and all that. It's a very, very soft story because they get slowly to know each other. And at one point, they kind of realize, oh, I might like that guy a little bit more than just a friend. And obviously the botanical student, he gets very, very intimidated by that because, like I said, he's very afraid of human relationships, or just very wary of that. He's just a little bit cautious about human relationships. And obviously he hadn't had a romantic relationship ever, so he's even more cautious about that. But they take it really slow, which I thought was super, super sweet, because the guy who starts living with the botanical student, he at one point is like, oh, I kind of want to be more intimate with him. And they start to kiss, and it kind of gets a little bit steamy, but the botanical student, he's really afraid of it and is not ready for that. And the other really says to him hey, let's take our time, and we do everything at our own pace. And I thought that was so nice, because it's something that I read, I don't read that a lot in boys love manga. It's always there's a lot of no consent in boys love manga, as you might already know. So I thought this was very beautiful and very well done, since they really take their time to get closer with each other. So highly recommend this. If you love beautiful art as well, please try this one out. And if you want something sweet with a student romance and where they start living together, I think Hello Green Planet will really be something up your alley. Then actually by the same author, I have another one. It's called Friendline, and in this we have two co-workers where one of them is actually in an abusive relationship with another guy, and his co-worker finds out at the beginning of the manga, and he actually invites him to live with him. You see a pattern there in the first manga as well. They start living together, and in this one too, which I thought was really funny because of the same author as well. But yeah, the coworker, the nice coworker, he invites him, the other guy, to live with him. The guy who's in an abusive relationship, or was in an abusive relationship, he kind of has no apartment because his boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, he was living with him before. So they start living together, and the nice coworker, like I said, takes care of him a little bit. And obviously, the guy who is gay, he actually confesses that, or he's coming out to his coworker as well. And the other, like the coworker's like, it's all fine, like he doesn't mind at all, and he gets like he's very serious about like the conversation and about just the whole situation in itself, that his coworker is gay and that he's in an abusive relationship, and just he really tries to tend to his needs, and on an emotional level as well. And I thought that was absolutely amazing. I thought this manga was a very mature manga, a very serious manga which really takes the whole thing of having a gay relationship, like it just takes that very seriously, and also of the fears of someone who comes out of a abusive relationship, because obviously the gay guy, he falls in love with his coworker and is really, really afraid of that, because he doesn't want to lose his coworker because he's such a good friend, and he doesn't want to be like, oh, I confessed that I'm in love with him and he rejects me and then I'm gonna lose that friendship. It's absolutely stunning. I thought it's a very slow progression of the relationship as well. So I highly recommend this one if you, again, want something with a slow progression where the relationship between these two men is taken really seriously and from a very mature point of view. I think you will really, really enjoy this one, and it obviously has a happy ending. Every single manga here has a happy ending, of course. So yeah, please try Friendline if you like something like that, where like the coworkers get closer together and slowly fall in love. Then the next one I have here is, oh my god, let me read that out because it's a really long name. It's called Okumade Furete mo ii desu ka by Yoshio Akira, and I think the English translation would be would you mind me touching you deeply or something? It's something around that, which sounds super weird, I know. But this manga really, really surprised me. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did, to be honest. This is a one-shot, like the other two as well, that I just recommended. They're just one-shots as well, so you can read them in like one go if you like. And for this one, we have again actually a co-worker story, a co-worker love story, where one of them is really, really shy and he likes one of his co-workers, and at one point we have like a blonde dude and the black-haired dude. I forget all the names of these like guys because I read so many boys love manga, so I'm sorry if I'm not saying like the character names here. So we have one guy who's really shy and who is really not very outspoken, and the other guy finds out at one point that this guy, this really shy guy, likes him, and he's like, oh, you like me? And the other is like, he's not really confirming it, but just because of his reaction, because he's like super like blushy and flustered about it, he's like, oh, okay. And he's not troubled by it, he's not like weirded out by it, but he kind of doesn't believe it at first, you know. So he takes his coworker actually to an host club for like with women, and he's like, oh, maybe you just like me because I'm like a gentle and nice coworker for you. But the other guy, who actually really truly likes him for who he is, he's very uncomfortable in this like situation where they're like with hostesses, and he's like, I'm sorry, but I have to leave. So they leave the host club, and the blonde guy, who was like first off like not believing that the other guy likes him, he's like, oh, you really like me, like you're really serious. And the other guy's, yeah, he is. And he's like so flustered about the whole situation. They actually start going out quite early in the beginning of the manga, and they get to know each other as well, and spend time together. And we learn a lot about the blonde guy, who is actually the son of the CEO of the company that they're both working in, and all the like family troubles that he had in the past and still has. And it's kind of like some like family drama like put into this manga as well, which I thought was really nice, because you have a lot of romance, but you also have like the points of like family drama and learning about the like characters' backgrounds, which I thought was really interesting. What I really liked about this is that the romance part is like really intense, like that the guy who's like always like really flustered about it, he's so in love with the other guy, and the other can't like really believe that how someone can love him so much. And I thought that was really beautiful and well done, and especially like the last part of the manga where it's like coming to the love confessions and why they like each other. I was like my heart was like beating a little bit faster because I thought it was so well done and so intensely done as well. And in this one too, it's a mature relationship we have between two adult men, and I thought that as well was really like nice to read because they're like comfortable with who they are, and with having like a relationship with another man. So highly recommend this one. The art is absolutely stunning as well. So you, if you want like a coworker love story with a little bit of family drama in thrown in there, and like an intense love where they kind of are like, I can't live without you, that kind of thing, I think you might really enjoy this one. The next one I have here is called Under My Skin by Iroha Usui, and to be honest with this one, I was really skeptical at first. When I first read it, I was like, this is kind of like a flat story, and it is a tiny bit. It's a very simple story. We have our main guys who meet at a mixer with like, maybe like Japanese mixers where like a group of guys meet a group of women and they get to know each other, and maybe they will start dating, maybe they will spend the night together, that kind of thing. And our main two guys, they meet at one of like these mixers that they were both invited to. And one of them is actually, wait, let me check their names so I can actually talk about their names here. Our main guy is called Kudo. He's the one with the black hair on the cover, and he's a very serious guy. He takes everything very seriously and goes through his life with like a quite serious opinion about things. And like I said, they're at this mixer, and the other one is called Sato. And at one point, Kudo, like, he goes out on the balcony and he like for a breath of fresh air, and the other guy, Sato-san, he's like following him out of the like on the balcony, and he's kind of like, hey, do you want to smoke, and why are you here, why are you at this mixer? And he actually asks Kudo like, aren't you gay? And Kudo is like so taken aback by that because he like denies that instantly. He's like, no, I'm not gay, like why would I be at this mixer if I'm gay, ha ha ha, that kind of thing. And he's like, why are you asking that, Sato-san? And Sato's like, yeah, maybe you could call it a, like experience. He's like an instinct kind of thing, where maybe you could call it gaydar. So he's kind of like, Sato gets to that point where he's like saying to Kudo, oh, I kind of want to make you realize that you're actually gay. And they go to a hotel together, even though like Kudo is a little bit drunk, and Sato's main reason for bringing him to a hotel is mainly so he can sleep it off and get sober again. He had no like serious intention of like sleeping together. That's what he says, at least. But they do actually sleep together because Kudo gets so like curious about it, of like of being held by a man. It's so well drawn, let me say that. Like, holy wow, like this art style in this manga is like chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. Like, if you like really beautifully drawn smut, this is it for you. I think if you really want something with like gorgeously drawn like smutty pages, here it is. This manga is the one you should probably try. But like I said in the beginning, so the story is nothing great or amazing. It's just two guys learning to be with each other, and one coming to terms with the fact that he likes men. And as well, like in the other manga that I recommended, this is a very mature manga. This is about two adult men who come together and who start a relationship, and where one of them is really afraid of showing who he really is, and who always kind of like took a step back and is like, I can't show who I really am and what I really like, and all that kind of stuff. Like, who was really afraid of showing other people who he really is. But with Sato-san, with his partner now, he's kind of like open about it, and he kind of wants to show him as well like who he is, and wants to be together with that person. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful. Like, even though it's such a simple story, there's not much to it really, but just how it's done, I thought it was really nice, because it's just like an easy love story, really. So I read this now, I think like 5 times or so, because I thought it was so beautiful, and I just like scrolling to the page through the pages, and like because I love the art so much as well. So if you like that kind of story, like a simple love story where one man is realizing that he is gay, and they explore that together, and they're like very intimate with each other, but it's a very healthy relationship. They have a lot of communications, and where everything is quite like taken seriously as well. I think you should really try this one out. I can highly recommend this. And as like I said, the art is absolutely stunning. So the next one I have here is called Koiga Ochitara, and this is by the mangaka Ueda Aki. And in this one, oh my god, like I was so surprised that I loved this so much. We have one guy who is getting dumped at the beginning by his boyfriend, and he's sitting in front of an apartment complex and is kind of like crying about it, like why was he dumped? And at one point, like some clothing is falling on his head, like from the apartment complex that he's sitting in front of, and it's from an older guy who's like coming down to the street and is like collecting these clothing pieces that were falling from his apartment, from his window. And it's an older guy who like please believe me, he looks like Mads Mikkelsen, like in Hannibal, like the actor. It's hilarious. Like when I saw his like how he was drawn, I was like, oh my god, it's Hannibal. It's so funny. Like if you know the show like Hannibal, which is by the way one of my favorite shows of all time, then he looks exactly like Hannibal, which I thought it's so funny to me. But anyway, so we have that guy who looks like Hannibal, and he lost his like clothing. The other guy is kind of like, here, let me help you like collect this like these clothing pieces. And they go up into his apartment, and he sees like the apartment of the Hannibal dude is like so messy. And our main character is kind of like, he likes taking care of his boyfriends, he likes like taking care of the household, and so he helps the Hannibal dude, that's what I'm going to call him, taking care of like all the messy stuff in his apartment. And they actually start seeing each other. They like, the main character wouldn't say it would be dating, but just like hanging out, going to like have dinner and all that stuff. But at one point, obviously, like he kind of starts to feel more about that older guy, and the older guy as well. But he finds out that the older guy is just fresh, like divorced. So our main dude is kind of like really afraid of like having a relationship, because he was like formally straight, you know, and his other boyfriend who dumped him also left him for another woman. So he's kind of like really afraid of having a relationship with another like supposedly straight man. But everything works out in the end, let me tell you. For this one, I really thought it was so well done, because the main character is so afraid of like getting his feelings hurt, but the other guy takes care of him so well. He's like such a good guy. Like he's such a gentleman about like the whole relationship. Like just these small romantic like gestures that he does, I thought were really sweet. And the other, like the main guy, is really not like used to that kind of like behavior from like his like ex-boyfriends or something. So I thought it was really sweet that there's like this one guy really take like the older guy taking really well care of the of our main character. So if you don't mind a little bit of an age gap between the main characters, and if you like a lot of like romantic instances in the relationship and some very passionately drawn smutty scenes, please give this one a try. Oh my god. At first I was a little bit skeptical because of the art style, actually, because it's not normally what I'm going for. But highly recommend it. It's very beautiful. It has a lot of passion in it, I thought. And I thought the mangaka like really brings like the feelings of these people onto the page, and I really adored that, and that I admired that a lot while reading it. So Highly recommend this. Please give it a try. Okay, and the last one I have here, I actually have even more on my list to be honest, but this video is already so long. I might do another one like in a few months of like other like highly recommended boys love manga, if you're interested in that. But the last one I have here is called Tonarino Meterasan by Mamita, and oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. We have here like a guy who is a metal fan, like the music genre metal, and another guy who's like moving into the apartment next door from that metal dude, and they meet obviously. And the metal guy, he really is like a shy guy, and he's not very good at talking, and he can never like really say what he thinks and what he wants to. But they start hanging out together, and the metal guy, he really likes cooking, so he starts cooking for both of them, and they just spend like their dinners and even their breakfasts together. And it's super sweet. It's a very wholesome manga, which I really truly liked, because the main guy, the metal guy, like I said, he's very shy. He's very anxious about human contact and about conversation. And I thought the mangaka really brought that out like very well on her panels, in her art, like how much anxiety he has, and how difficult it is for him to talk to other people that he doesn't know very well. I thought that was like she brought it out really well. Obviously, like the main guy who like moved in next door to the metal dude, he is gay and he falls in love with the metal guy, but he is really afraid of like confessing. So he was kind of like, I don't want to confess because I don't want to lose that friendship kind of thing, that kind of deal again. Yeah, it gets a little bit like difficult to hold back his feelings, but in the end, again, everything is solved. It's a happy ending, and the metal guy is, he's so sweet. Like, I have never read a boys love manga with a main character like that, where you kind of like think about him even afterwards, because he's so like special, you know, he's so like such an interesting character and has so many like personality traits that you kind of really remember after. So I can highly recommend this if you want something really different from other boys love manga, where you're like, oh, I've never read something like that ever before. Please try this one, the Tonarino Meterasan. It's so cute. It has such a wholesome relationship. I love this so much. It's so sweet, and I actually, like I said, I have like a special mention, alright? So because of the mangaka, I actually have this manga as well. It's also by Mamita. I don't know the Japanese name of this, and this is actually about like a CEO and a window washer. Is it? No, window cleaner, sorry. And this as well, that's so different from everything that I have ever read before. Highly recommend this as well. It's so sweet. Like, the half of the story is story of the CEO and the window cleaner, and half of the story is between a boys love author, like, who writes the stories, not the, like, doesn't draw, but writes the plot behind it, and his co-worker. So highly recommend these. Like, just in general, these are the two mangas by Mamita that are out. So I highly recommend Mamita. Just try her out. It's pretty good. It's really good. And the art, absolutely beautiful. Really gorgeous art as well. Sorry, my camera was actually full, so the angle might be a little bit different, but the last thing that I would like to recommend to you is like another small special mention, and that is Midnight Rain by CTK, of course. I have read this before, actually even before 2020, but in 2020 the German translation came out, so I obviously had to buy it. And like with On Doorstep, the other manga that I can highly recommend by her, this one as well is absolutely gorgeous. We have two older men in this as well. It's a very mature and very serious manga, in my opinion, with a little bit of more like heavy topics as well. For example, we have topics like suicide in this, or debt paying. We have some violence in this as well, so make sure you're okay with that before going into this manga. But if you like a very mature approach on like a relationship between two older men and two guys who have super different kinds of personalities but still meet and still kind of like each other and want to spend time together and be together, and where you like only see like a really like a small fraction of their lives together, like a small scene of like how they spend this time together that's in this manga. I think you should really give this one a try. I would love to read more about these two characters, but I'm also kind of happy that we only have this one shot because it kind of stays really like special like that. Highly recommend this. I love CTK, always recommending her stuff. Try this, please. It's really, really gorgeous. But yeah, this one was the last manga on my agenda, even though I have even more on my list actually, but I thought I'm gonna like wrap this here. If you're interested in another video like this, let me know, send me a message, and other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video even though it's so long. And I hope you will find maybe one or two manga that are interesting to you and that you would like to read. If you read any of these, let me know. If you want to read any of these, let me know as well. And then see you guys in the next one. And I hope you have a great day. Bye!